guys, what's popping up? I bring you love, I bring you peace, I bring you happiness, I believe you, I bring you blessing. Kindly take a chill pill, stay, and keep watching to the end of this content. I'm just going to be dishing and giving out new tips and tricks when it comes to cutting and sewing a pants, a trousers, or a palazzo pants or trousers. Last time I uploaded this video on how to cut and sew a palazzo pant, it got me over 100,000 views. In fact, this is one of the videos on my channel that is doing really well. You can just go through the comment section to see how people were appreciating the video and how I've made the cutting and sewing of a palazzo pant so easy for them. This time around, I'm coming with another video which is going to elaborate more on cutting and sewing a pant or a palazzo pant or trousers. This video has new tips and tricks, why some formulas in the first video wouldn't work for all body sizes. With this new video, you'll be looking at how to even cut and sew a pants or trousers for a plus size person. So let's say somebody with hip 50, 48, 45, or even more than that. We are going to be looking at the exceptions in all the formulas and the easy way to maneuver your way around cutting and sewing a palazzo pant or even a fitted pants. Okay, so guys, pardon me if I use pants or trousers, like I mean the same thing. Okay, in my part of the world we use them interchangeably, so just bear with me. Okay, anyone I use, just know that it's the same thing I'm talking about. Okay, sweetie, are you into anything tailoring, anything sewing, anything DIY, or anything fashion designing? Oh my god, then this is the best home for you. In this channel, we eat, we breathe, we talk, we wear, we learn, we teach, we practice, we even preach fashion designing on this channel. This is the best place for you if you're into anything of that sort. All you need to do is to click on that subscribe button and don't forget to click the notification bell. Just kill that subscribe button right there. The customer you're going to be working for has hip 50. Okay, the hip of the client is 50, so this is a really plus person. Okay, here I have 4 yards of fabric. I'm going to be cutting a pants for her and also a top as well. Okay, if you want to know how I design the top, just check in the channel. I'll be putting it on fold. The first thing we'll be doing is we have to measure to make sure that our fabric we've put on fold is our hip circumference divided by 4 plus about 5 inches for allowances. Okay, with marking my waistline this way, I'll also mark my crotch length and I'll go ahead and square it out. At this point, I want to take my time and explain it better for you. Remember the previous video, I told you if you want to get your crotch length and you were not able to measure it directly on your customer, all you need to do is to divide your hip circumference by 4. That will give you your crotch length. Or you can even divide your waist circumference by 4 plus 1.5 inches to give you your crotch length. This is the formula in case you don't have the measurement for the crotch. The best way for you to get it right at all time, at all costs, is to take it on your customer. And this is how to take it on your customer. Let your customer sit on a chair, measure from the waist to where the chair and the skin meets. This is how to measure your crotch length. If you don't have it, then use the 2 formulas I spoke about. But there are exceptions to every rule, and the exception to this formula is if you have somebody with a hip circumference around 4 to 5 inches, 46 to 50 to 60, like in our case, the customer hip circumference was 50. If you go ahead and divide it by 4, you will end up getting discrepancies, and this is the discrepancy you are going to be incurring. You realize that the crotch length is almost closer to half of the length of the trousers. When that happens, when your customer wears it, there is going to be a lot of scrambles, uneasiness, and folding at the inseam area towards the pubic area, and we don't want that. So when you are dealing with people with hip circumference that is very much, make sure you measure their crotch so that you wouldn't have problems. You know, when it comes to handling and sewing for plus people, there are lots of exceptions. Most rules or formulas doesn't work, so you make sure you take your measurements on them. Okay, from the waistline, I'll be marking the full length of the pants plus 2 inches for the folding allowance. I also go ahead and square that out. Now let's come to the waistline and mark our hip divided by 4 at the waistline, and also mark the same hip divided by 4 at the crotch length this way. To be able to get our crotch extension, our hip divided by 4 we will divide it again into 4, and that is what we'll mark here go up here, mark it there. At this midpoint, I'll just step out by 1.5 inches and I'll draw my curve through these 3 points to get our crotch curve. Whatever I had here, I'll come and mark it at the hemline. Or another time, you can just measure from here to here and mark the same thing at the hemline. This is if you want the hem area of your palazzo pant or your pant to be very loose. At another time, you can just measure wherever you have, take away like 2 inches, and also connect it to that side as well. This is basically optional. Okay, if you want to have a very loose hem area, that is what you do. On this side, I want to give this pant a little bit of shape. I will come in by 2 inches and I'll connect it to the hip line this way. I'll come to the waistline, come in by 1 inch, and also connect it from the crotch line to the waistline this way. At this point, we shall be cutting everything out. Now we are coming to cut the back. I'll just go ahead and fold my fabric this way. Guys, pardon me, you can see that I'm drafting on the right side of my fabric. This was because I want you guys to see it clearly. If I was going to do the marking at the wrong side, it wouldn't have been clearer as it is now. When I'm done sewing, I have to go and get a wet napkin to clean all the markings you are seeing off. Don't cut at the right side. I'll put the front piece on the back piece. At this point, I'll step up by 3 inches and I'll make a diagonal line to join from the sides to that 3 inches. And on this side, I'll mark 2.5 inches, 2.5 inches, 3 inches at this side. I'll come here and mark 2 inches, 2 inches to the hem of the pant. I'll go ahead and connect it this way. This 2 inches is going to serve as the allowance. As for the front, we didn't add any allowance. This is because we'll be adding all our allowances at the back. This 2 inches can cover up for all the allowance. When you are sewing, just sew half an inch as your sewing allowance. When you are done, you get everything perfect. But if you go ahead and sew more than that, you end up getting a very tight trousers, which you wouldn't like. Okay,
sorry, at this side I step out by 3 inches
since she was a plus person.
If you are sewing for an average person, you can make it 1.5 inches to 2.5 inches.
I'll cut everything out. Now, if you want your sewing allowances to be 1 inches or 1.5 or even 2 inches, then make sure when you're adding to the back, you add much, or you add a little to the front and the back too, you add a little. The sewing part, I will align the front piece this way and sew the crotch line this way, and the back too, I will arrange it that same way. Go ahead and stitch the crotch to this point. That's what I'll be doing for both. Over here, I'm done sewing the crotch length. Here, I'll just go ahead and blend it a bit more by trimming a bit of that side away. Here too, I've stitched the crotch curve also. For the front piece, I'll step down by 1 inch at the middle and cut it to meet with the side. I'll go ahead and fold in the hem allowance for all the pieces. I'll align it this way. So when you see the back bigger than the front, it's normal, okay? And I'll go ahead and stitch half an inch all to the hem. At this point too, another half an inch all to the hem. Now come to the inseam. Make sure that this side always align, okay? Before you stitch your inseam, another half an inch sewing allowance. I've gone ahead to prepare my band, so I have a detailed video in the channel on how to prepare a waistband. Okay, that's why I just kept that. You can check that out. I'll attach the band to the waistline. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.